I'm a Ferrari. Y'all got me on DC streets, man.
Bam!
It is.
Welcome.
Back, man.
Feeling good from that last one, bro.
Yeah, man. Yes. Yeah, man. It was a good episode last week. If y'all ain't check it out, check it out.
For sure. Because what felt good to me about the joint was thinking about my homeboys and thinking about them fun ass times.
Yeah.
That was in between the bullshit. So let me say that. The bullshit was in between the good times.
Right.
That's a better way to put it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I always have such positive memories when I think about my homeboys and chopping that shit up, even if it's about, a motherfucker getting robbed and shit.
Yeah.
like now I even look at that in a different way. You know what I'm saying?
It's wild how through all of that, dog, all them events, it was still a childhood. It was still like we had some good ass times.
Mm-hmm.
We had some good ass time. That's good shit.
So you just brought up something that just hit that that we should explore.
Yeah, I wanted to unpack it, man. It's been on my mind for a couple days. I was listening to that new Drake album. Just came out Thursday night, Friday morning, whenever it was. And he got a joint on there with Jay-Z. And Jay-Z says, one of the lines, he says, the price of everything, but the value of nothing.
Everybody wants something. The price of everything, but the value of nothing.
And that's a heavy ass line.
That's a bar.
Exactly. On the surface, it has a meaning, but it's some shit to unpack with it. So, I don't know, man. What did you think when you initially just heard me say it?
When I heard you say it, I heard you basically say that motherfuckers don't really see what's there.
Right.
And I literally heard this for the first time 3 minutes ago.
Right.
So it's a reflection of the world that I feel like we live in.
Yeah.
And everybody's focus on price.
Right.
As if there's a correlation to value.
Yes. Yeah.
When it can be, but in most cases, it really truly isn't.
Right. And it struck me too, dog. Initially, it hit me as because the song is about how people screw you and people who you thought were your friends aren't really your friends and that whole journey.
Mm-hmm.
And when he said that, man, it struck me that, like a lot of times what we place value in on a personal level, right? What I place value in something, do I really understand the value of it as opposed to the price of it, right? So money aside, right?
Yeah.
A price is anything that you got to give up to get something or keep something. What is the price that we're paying based on how valuable that thing is to us? And what does that mean? I don't even know.
I think it goes back. Remember when I was in Miami, bro, and we were having the conversation? I remember I was outside of this spot and me and you were talking on the phone.
Yeah.
And I said that I never forget the time when I was watching Donald Trump's wedding. And I believe Shaq went to the wedding and he bought Donald Trump a Rolls Royce Phantom.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, why would Shaq buy a billionaire something that he could buy himself?
Right.
And maybe it's because I was actually looking at the price
right.
of the thing,
Right.
and not the value associated with what that represents in exchange to that person.
Right.
And we were
Right.
talking about how I think you were saying that the value is never on the thing, the price tag on it.
Right.
And in most cases, the things that actually have the most value
Right.
have absolutely nothing to do with price.
Exactly. Exactly. And that dog, and I think the clarity in that statement comes in understanding value versus price. Mm-hmm. Right? And because it seems to be a level thing, and I'm not even sure that I even get it yet, you know what I'm saying, in all its forms. But value versus the price of something, it's based on your personal relationship to it, right? Because a Phantom to Donald Trump has a different value than a Phantom to you or me. Mm-hmm. Even in its, like, quote unquote, resale value, how much it's actually worth monetarily. It has a different, they have different relationships to it. So if I value something, if I know something's value to me, how does that relate to the price of it?
It shouldn't.
And am I willing to, if I know both of those things, am I willing to pay a higher price because I recognize the value of it?
For me, dog, the price is never the value.
True.
Thinking about, like,
Absolutely.
when there's something that I want,
Right.
when I really truly want it, I don't give a fuck about how much the price is.
Right.
The price has never prevented me. Now, this is my life,
Right.
my experience. I
Right.
can't say this is the same for everybody.
Right.
I think it just depends on what part they focus on,
Right.
which is what I feel like Jay-Z was saying in that verse.
Right.
Like, we
Right.
know the price
Yeah.
of everything,
Yeah.
but we know the value of nothing. Like,
Exactly.
I know the price of a trip to Brazil,
Right. That's heavy. That's heavy.
but I also know the value in taking a trip there.
Right.
I know
Right.
the price of a car,
Yeah.
but I also know the value of
Yeah.
how it feels
Yeah.
to be in that motherfucker and rolling and having amenities and all of this and that and the third.
Right.
And sometimes people are so focused on the price
Yes.
that it actually becomes a barrier for them to experience what that
Yeah.
price leads to through that thing, if
Yep.
that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I could know, like, I could know the price of a spot of a house, right? Mm-hmm. But what is the value of this peaceful space to me?
Yeah.
Just sitting on or whatever, and I could wake up in the morning and find peace and exist in that on my everyday. Mm-hmm. That's way more valuable than whatever the price is.
Yep.
And am I willing to trade a quote unquote better, cheaper price, but not have as much value?
And most people do,
Exactly.
to his point.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
Because they're stuck on one. I focus on, and I used to tell my brother this, I don't buy shit.
Right.
What I buy is experiences.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's literally what I buy.
Yeah.
I sit and I imagine what it's like
yeah.
to own that thing or
Yeah.
to go to that place or to participate in that.
Yep.
And there's value in that
Yes.
more so than it is the actual thing itself.
Right.
Because the thing ain't really worth shit,
Right.
no matter what it is.
At the end of the day, that's right. That's right.
Now, if I get a motherfucking Rembrandt,
Right.
the price is whatever I say it is.
That's right.
But what is the value of saying I lived a life?
Exactly.
I lived a life that afforded me the opportunity to own a Rembrandt.
Right.
You
Right.
having that as a check mark on your bucket list or on your to-do list of life
Yeah.
is invaluable.
That's
There
right.
is no value if that was something that was important to you.
That's right.
But we will let the money
Yeah.
keep us from seeing what the value, and then we'll judge other people. Oh, well, you spent that much money? Like
Yeah,
people say,
yeah.
oh, you spent, I don't know. I like nice shit, right? But
Right.
there's a value to those things that
Right.
transcend the price.
Exactly.
I might know the designer.
Yeah.
I might know how they made it.
Yeah.
I might know what motherfucking took them so long and what materials they were experimenting with
Right.
to get it or whatever to make it or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
adds to the overall value and experience of me. So it makes me feel good. So when I have a chair, like my Eames chair,
Yeah.
that just ain't a motherfucking chair.
Right.
If somebody comes in here and sits down and think that's just a chair,
Yeah.
then that's fine.
Yeah, man. I mean,
I'm rambling, but
that's heavy. That's heavy because, but that goes moment to moment too. The value of something, dog, and how you relate to the value of that thing. The price is only exists, almost to me, almost because it has to, right? But the value of that. Let me take a step back. So there's also like the notion of buying low, selling high, or having and then establishing a higher value, right? Mm-hmm. But does that count when we're talking about things like, you know, like we know people who creatives, who are artists, creatives, or whatever, and they have things that they sell. But that value means something different to us than it does to somebody else.
Yeah.
Would I try to get him to sell it to me cheaper because then it'll be more valuable, or would I give him what he's asking for because that's the value of it to me, or it also speaks to the value of our relationship.
so
Which sort of is the next thing that hit me about that statement.
But the value, so in your relationship, there is no value.
Right. True.
If I go to Terrell
Right.
and ask him to make me a beat,
Right.
first of all, why would I do that? Knowing that that's his job and his profession and what he does.
Right.
So, which means if I do ask,
Right.
it's for something very specific
Yes.
and important.
Yes.
Now, what would he charge me? He probably wouldn't charge anything.
Right.
Because it's invaluable within the context of our relationship.
That's right. That's right.
So he would give it to me.
Right.
Like Shaq gave the rose, it's more of a symbol than it is anything else.
Right.
Because certain value only holds space within certain frameworks.
Right.
So like in the economic model of buy low, sell high, that's a general principle that's applied to a market.
Right. Okay.
But
yeah.
to two individuals
Yeah.
who's cool, like that model, like that's something you wouldn't, like I got a pair of shoes in there. I'm gonna ask you if you want to buy. They brand new in the box.
Right.
They retail for like what, 120. If I could get 160 for them, I'd be like, yo, man, you interested in these?
Yeah.
I wouldn't try to make $40 off of you.
Right.
So the concept of buy, and if you found out I did that,
Right.
and you know I don't need the money,
Right.
that's gonna look even wilder.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then it just shifts the whole, because now I know the price of it,
Right.
but I didn't understand the value.
Right. Right. And dog, it's because to that point, to the Terrell point, I think value has different, like we all know it has different contexts and different meanings in different relationships. The value of our relationship with Terrell, right? The value of your relationship with Terrell is far beyond more valuable. I hate to use the word to define a word, than whatever a beat, quote unquote, costs.
Yeah.
Right? To both of you. I mean, that's equally across the board. So there really wouldn't be a conversation about how much this thing is, right? But the value of like if he had a project and he was selling it on Bandcamp, right? I could very well be like, hey Terrell, email me that project, right?
Yeah.
But I still would feel like I'm gonna go to Bandcamp and make the purchase.
So in that scenario, because I still buy his music.
Me too. Right.
Because it's like, I'm not even gonna go, the hassle associated with going to him and bugging him to send me $1 song is whack.
Right. I mean, even like some stuff I already had. But if I know he's coming out, like he's selling it, you know what I'm saying? I'll be like, okay, let me go. And it ain't, I mean, come on, dog. My little $3, $4 ain't going to make a break. But to me, it's the value of, like, I know this is what he does, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to, to do what I do because I know this is what he does.
So in those scenarios, we're not looking at the price.
Right.
We're looking at the value.
Right.
It does have to be, you can look at both.
True.
But I think the overarching point of Jay was that we overlook the motherfucking value, or we don't even really truly know. So I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Somebody comes to me and says, hey, can you DJ an event?
Right.
And let's say my normal rate is $1,000. And I say, oh, I'll do it for $1,000. And that person says, oh man, it's a Jay-Z, since we talking about this motherfucker.
Right.
It's gonna be a Jay-Z birthday party.
Right.
And I'd be like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Do you do it for free? Understanding that you're gonna get access to this space or get an opportunity? I had a chance to DJ at the White House one time.
Yeah.
And they didn't have any budget because it was something that they thought of last minute.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, fuck yeah, I'll DJ. Now, this wasn't Trump presidency. It was a little bit before.
Yeah.
But I was like, hell yeah. It was for something that Michelle Obama was doing. I was like, hell yeah, I'll go on that motherfucker. They weren't able to get the approvals and stuff in time, but I definitely would have done that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what's in that motherfucking room.
Right.
Like the value of being in that room, I'm not going to let the price.
Right.
I'm not going to let a price.
Right.
Prevent me from seeing the value that is actually in that, of being in that space could offer me.
But do you think that, yeah, dog.
And it goes back, and nothing's 100%, right? Because I could go there and it'd be nothing.
Right. Right. Do you think that goes across the board? Like if you were a caterer and they asked you to do it, to provide the food, and it was like
maybe
free, would you?
Maybe.
And it also depends on the relationship I had with the person that's asking.
Yeah.
Because if we have a relationship and we've done things before and it's been that level, because, I got people who I have that level of relationship with. Mm-hmm. And they value the fact that, hey man, this ain't no budget for this, but this is, you can get in some spaces.
Yeah.
And and this is how we interact, then hell yeah. But I'm a little kind of leery of a stranger asking a stranger to do something for free without a prior relationship.
Because that's a connect thing.
Right.
And
that's the value too.
Because these motherfuckers who were DJing, who were interning at these different record labels back in the day, when you hear Puffy or you hearing somebody else, saying, I worked for free for a year, getting motherfuckers coffee and shit.
Yeah.
They understood the value of being in that room. Being an intern somewhere, you literally working for motherfucking free.
Yep.
Why?
Yeah.
Because you see the value of being in that space and the opportunity that affords you.
And building those relationships.
Yeah, so it's actually more valuable than the money that you can get at the time. Right. And sometimes that's the path to some of this shit. They want
right.
you to go through. They can pick anybody to do some of this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's deep because if you just took a job, and let's say, as a whatever you are, 19-year-old kid, if you took a job at 19, I don't think there is a job that would have lead you to the same direction or same result that you would if you took that internship.
Yep.
And you just being in spaces and learning and understanding, because that's what internships are.
That's it.
Yeah. So you're right. So the value of that, dog, is way more than any money you can't put a price tag on it.
And sometimes we look so closely at the money,
That's
and we
right.
do this with our babies, dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do this with our babies. How much are you gonna make? How much you gonna do this?
That's right.
Like that's knowing the price. You know
Yeah.
the price of the job,
Yeah.
but you don't know the value.
That's right.
Value might be low.
Yeah. Yeah.
The value of that job might be lower than the price that you actually are being paid for it.
Right.
And I have felt that way in jobs.
Yeah.
I have been paid a lot of money to do some shit that I felt was not in my motherfucking best interest.
Dog.
I've worked in the field of in the field that I'm in. You are only as good as the problems you solve.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
if I'm in environments where I'm not solving complex problems,
Yeah.
then it actually lowers my value,
That's right.
even if I'm getting paid high.
Yeah.
Because my value is not based necessarily in a salary. It's more so in what my experience levels and the types of problems that I can solve.
Yeah.
So I've had to remove myself
Yeah.
from high paying positions
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
my value wasn't being reflected in the task. And some people will actually sit at jobs, dog,
Yep.
getting paid a lot of motherfucking money,
Yep.
not being used to their fullest potential. And
Yep.
ultimately, bro, and I'm rambling, long term, you suffer.
That's what I was gonna say, dog. Because you become, and I've done that, dog. You become stagnant, and shit passes you by, and your value lessens, even though you're. Because let's be real, if you're at a job, whatever salary you're making, somebody else is making way more often. Generally, that's how capitalism works.
Yep.
So whatever's if there's no value in what you're actually doing and the experience that you're doing, of being better, or getting better, or a better path, dog, the world will pass you by as you sit there and collect, feeling safe collecting this dollar. And then, on top of that, dog, sometimes you think you're making a high salary, but the fact that you're working 18, 16, 17-hour days, you're really, if you just do the hour to the salary, you're really just barely making a minimum wage because you're working twice as much at this salary.
And it's harder to see it when you're not working hard, which have been my instances. There have been times, man, where I've worked 10 hours a week.
Yeah.
A week. Getting paid.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the shit is so rote, it's so monotonous.
That's right.
and simple
Yeah.
that I can knock it out.
Yeah.
And then look like I'm operating at a high level. But I know I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can only do that for so long because I know that ultimately I suffer. And it's hard for people. You got to have a lot of faith in your own capabilities, in who you are, to remove yourself from that, and to have enough foresight to even know, bro, that shit ain't the long-term move.
That's right.
And it's only short-term. It's only short-lived.
That's right.
It's like, how you gonna get a Ferrari, bro, and then only be able to drive that joint? This is what I used to tell my old job. I'm a Ferrari. Y'all got me on DC streets, man.
Yeah.
I can't go above 20 miles an hour. Do you understand how much I'm doing a disservice to y'all? And not only are y'all doing a disservice to me, like this is not the move. Y'all not using y'all dollars well.
That's crazy.
And we both suffering. This ain't sustainable.
That's it too, dog. That's the value and understanding, because some people sit in those spaces for
Decades.
and they almost like revel in, yeah, I got a job, but I don't do much. You know what I'm saying? And
They
not
love that shit.
understand, like what the real implications of that is. Now I see if you're using that and then you're doing other stuff, right? But you know, I don't know, dog. I don't know.
But
the
again,
value and the price thing is
it's the price and the value. Some people say, "Oh, I love my job. I like it," but you looking at the price.
right.
Because what is the value?
That's right. That's right. And
And that shit carries in so many, like there are levels to what that is, bro.
That's right.
And maybe he was probably saying that. I'm only imagining how I can only imagine someone in his position writing that, looking at all the comments people say about how much he gives here, how much, you know, from a dollar, from a price perspective, looking at the price tags, how much he paid for this, how much he did this or that or the third, and they can't even see the layers and levels in the moves that he's making and what the real value of these opportunities are, because all we can see is the price tag on shit.
Yeah.
How much he donating.
And also how much like people think that because he didn't do this thing for them, even though he's done 10 other things, but that one thing is the thing that you were ready to, now you talking shit. You know what I'm saying? Now you're destroying this relationship because he didn't do this one thing. But you don't see the value of what he's been up until that point. And that goes, you know, not necessarily to a relationship where you feel like this, you know, this person is a person of power who's giving you access to things. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, the value has to be beyond in these moments. The value has to be an overall relationship to it. Where has it gotten you? Where does it come from? How you've contributed to it, how it's contributed to you overall, not just in these moments.
My motto is it's never about the money.
Right.
The money is the easiest thing to focus on in a value-based equation.
Yes.
But it's really the least significant.
That's right. And a byproduct.
It's really just like you were saying, it's kind of like something that just got to be on there.
Right.
Because free also is a different kind of thing from a psychological standpoint.
Right.
So and it's hard to explain this to people when all they focus on is money.
That's right.
And it's an extremely difficult concept to explain.
Yes.
But I've never really focused on money, dog.
Right. Right.
And because I don't, I feel like I've always gotten it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And it's hard to it's everybody I know who get money.
Yeah.
It's like they just get money.
Yeah.
It's a byproduct of their orientation in life. It's not the focus of the orientation.
That's right.
And everybody, most of the people I know who are focused on money seem to struggle with money.
Yeah.
And I don't, and it's hard to explain to those people who struggle with money that they're creating the struggle.
Yes. That's crazy. That's crazy, dog.
And so sometimes I don't even have money conversations with some people because it's a touchy subject to have because it's the price tag that they're focusing on and not the value. It's like motherfuckers always, it's like people are always waiting to be in positions to do something else. And it's like, no, you do the thing.
Right.
And it's hard, again, it's hard. And I know I'm talking to somebody who understands, so I feel like I'm beating a horse, but it's hard to explain these concepts to people who are so focused on the dollar. And I don't know, I can't have those conversations with people. I can't start them.
Right.
Now I could hear somebody, I could have a conversation with somebody who says, hey man, you know, talk to me about what your relationship is like with money and these kinds of things. And we could have a conversation, but you know, this ain't some shit that you just bring up to people because they'll say, oh, well, you don't understand. You've always had money. And I'm like, what? Bro, this shit couldn't be further from the truth.
Right. Right.
But that's what they see.
Yeah.
Because that's what they focus on.
Yeah, it's wild, man, because that is absolutely it. And you can't, some people, everything that they look at in terms of the value is how it relates to the cost, the money of it. Like relationships are only valuable if it nets them money.
Yeah.
They don't understand that, dog, there's a relationship, right? Sometimes you have a relationship that you value in an honest way that yields a relationship that you value in an honest way that yields the thing that you need, right? It's in all of those interactions in honest ways, not in no trying to maneuver and manipulate and trying to get to that thing. It is in and that's what I try to explain to my kids, dog. Like, if I got my man and I see him and we kick it, it ain't gotta be and I just, how's your family, man? How's your kids? Everybody good? You know what I'm saying? And I value, and then we sort of, he called me, he needs something, and I'll be like, hey man, sure, shit, all you gotta do, call this person or do that or do whatever the case is. Cool, bet. And then down the line, now when my son needs something, I find out that this guy's wife is the lead on the thing. Yeah. Right? So that relationship is way more valuable than the thing even that I'm trying to get him to, but it creates, because I'm not focused on the thing, I'm focused on the relationship. It creates an opening for other things to happen. But once you focus on that monetary value, you create the obstacles.
And you miss the value.
Exactly.
Because one of the things I learned fucking around with this clothes shit, bro, the number one, the currency moving forward is information.
Yeah. Break that down, dog.
And you get information through relationships.
Yes. Yeah.
So people are doing business with people they know and they like and are aligned with.
Yes.
And in order to connect in certain situations, you got to be that motherfucker that people like doing business with.
That's right.
Money ain't all in those spaces.
Right.
Money means little.
Yes.
Everybody got money.
Yes. Yeah.
Who do I like?
Yeah.
Who likes me?
Yeah.
Who's cool?
Yeah.
Who's laid back?
Yeah.
Who ain't talking about theyself all the goddamn time?
Yeah.
Who's trying to put themselves in positions to be of better service to their community and to the world? Shit like that.
Right.
So, you know, who's trying to do some cool, fun shit?
Yeah.
You know, who's doing some shit that ain't nobody else doing? Who's talking about some shit that ain't nobody else talking about?
Right.
Because in that, when you talking about a fashion, when you talking about a motherfucker who's manufacturing garments, he only got 100 machines.
That's right.
He can only generate 2,000 shirts a goddamn day, as an example.
Right.
And he got some of the best fabric in the area. He got access. Why? Because he got a relationship with somebody else who got the fabric.
That's right.
Who he gonna choose to make shirts for?
Yeah.
Everybody charging the same amount.
Yep.
He good.
Yeah.
So if I'm coming in and he don't know who I am and don't nobody vouch for me, I got the same $50,000 that somebody else got.
Right.
Who is he gonna print his 2,000 a day to?
And the fact that when we talk about these relationships and the value of these relationships, him saying or someone saying, hey, this is my man James. You remember so-and-so? Remember that he did? Yeah, James the one that helped him out with that. That creates the value in them in that creating that relationship. And then he says, oh shit, that's your man? Shit, of course. Bro. I got him. That creates, and then y'all do it and y'all do it well and y'all click. that creates the value. But a lot of times people think they throw money at it, that's the value.
And when you have a survivalist mentality,
yeah, that's it.
All you can see
Yep.
is what you can, is immediate gratification
That's
based
right.
stuff.
That's right.
It's hard for you to think long term
Yeah.
when your stomach is growling today.
Yeah, yep.
And sometimes you got to curb those desires. You
Yeah.
got to have longer vision.
Yeah.
You got to think longer.
Yep.
You got to see value in other areas.
Yep.
And more importantly, have faith that all of this shit is going to work out.
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
will.
And you
You
gotta
wouldn't
look
be
out-
where you are if it hadn't always worked out before.
That's right. And understand that sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes you got to look outside of yourself and see where and how you could be of service to someone else, no matter what that looks like.
Me not being a Christian, I find myself reciting so much of this shit.
Crazy.
But there's gems in it that you
Yes.
can act. When they say it is only that which you do for Christ that lasts, bro.
That's deep.
The body
Yeah.
is Christ.
Yeah. Yeah.
The community is Christ.
Absolutely.
And it is only that which you do for community that lasts.
Right.
All of this self-gratification shit,
Dog.
if you have a spirit of giving,
Yeah.
you will receive.
That's right.
That's energy.
And
That's value.
That's value. And that is the bottom line, dog. And no matter what you do in this universe, dog, when you have that spirit, it always comes back. You will never, and this is another thing I try to tell my kids, man, about, and it's hard to teach a child or a teenager these kinds of lessons, that you just saying, like, if you see somebody, like a kid that you know what I'm saying? And you just always are nice. What's up, man? You good? Or if you see a kid that you see him kind of look like he's struggling a little bit, just embrace him and be like, you ain't got to do nothing but just be like, man, you good? Just make sure when you see him, every time you see him, you good? What that creates. Because you never know that energy that you start to create and how that's going to come back into your life.
But we got to show these kids that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got to, and it's not to say that so much of the shit that we do, like being a parent requires intentionality.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if that's a word, but I just made it up.
Let's do it.
Some of the shit that we do, we just have kind of like, we do on the back end. Sometimes you literally have to put that shit on the forefront.
Right.
So that they can see. You ain't got to point at it and be like,
Right.
this
Look
is
what
what
I
it
did.
is, this is
Yeah.
what it looks like.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
we just, like as an example,
Yeah.
if every weekend it was built into that child's life that they go and donate and make dinner somewhere.
Yeah.
Or they go and hand out food somewhere. They
Yeah.
go to Habitat for Humanity and help build a house. And it
Yeah.
ain't even something that that the family is necessarily saying, oh, this is what we're doing and this is why we're doing it.
Right.
It's just a function of life.
Right.
But sometimes, and we ain't the kind of motherfuckers to where, like, if we see somebody in the store, we don't speak to people we don't know.
Right.
Like, naturally.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't.
Yeah, depends
But-
on the situation.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
to be the example, like, hey man, you feeling all right? I feel
Yeah.
like I normally come here and
Yeah.
your vibe is off today for
Right.
something. You good?
Right.
Well, I just went, all right, man. Here,
Right.
boom.
Right.
Hope you feeling the day. Felt like little shit like that.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
That's
they
exactly
they don't see it
That's
as
right.
often. So when we try to communicate it to them, it's hard for them. It's hard for them to recognize how it shows up in a life because most of the shit is just extremely, extremely small shit. My grandmother
Yeah.
said once, never let somebody leave the way they came.
Yeah.
And when you come to her house, bro, when I was a little kid, motherfucker, she would give me a $2 bill. Cause she was just like, and it was small stuff. She might
Right.
give me a piece of cake.
Yeah.
She might give me a sandwich.
Yeah.
It was just her little small way of just not letting me leave the way I came. It could be a nasty ass old school candy,
I
like
knew
a
you gonna say
Charleston
that.
Chew or some
Yeah.
shit.
Hey man, I like Charleston Chews.
I grew to like them, but when I
little
was
strawberry
motherfucker, I wanted
joints.
some Twizzlers,
Little
motherfucker.
strawberry joint.
Some Nihilators. I didn't want no goddamn Charleston Chew. No Sugar Daddy. Them old people food candies and shit. Motherfucker, remember Beecham gum?
That is funny, dog. I do remember that.
But that shit, I'm gonna have to. You remember the name of the song? Cause I've been on my Donda shit. So I ain't.
It's the only joint. I think it's called All the Love, something like that. But it's the only joint he got on there with Jay-Z. I ain't even listened to that Donda joint yet, like all the way through.
Yeah, I know you ain't I got you.
I want to be dog, but sometimes it just, I don't know, dog. We might be off subject, but that's cool. It gets a little pretentious to me. You feel that?
No.
No, you think it's authentic? You think where he's coming from is
Listen,
authentic
man,
space?
I think he's him. And I think that if we feel that kind of shit, I think that's a reflection of us, bro.
What do you mean?
Like if you, like, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What does pretentious mean?
To me, okay, so I listen to albums, right? I listen to music. And depending on, it could be an artist I've never heard of or know absolutely nothing about. But listening to the piece of art and taking it in, right? Everything from how it's made to what they're saying to how they're saying it, a lot of times has a very honest feel to me, right? I feel like I'm trying to think of something that would do that. I can't right now, but it has an honest feel to me. It feels like that they are not trying to sell me something. They are just, it could be untrue, but they are expressing themselves, right? But a lot of times from him and a lot of the other sorts of things, it feels like that they are packaging something to sell me that is not coming from a space of creating. When I know that he is a creative, like it's coming from a space of, hey, I want to sell this thing to these people, so let me make this like this. And again, it could be a byproduct of me feeling that way for about 10 years.
Yeah, because you ain't like none of his shit in a minute. So
I really ain't like it from the very beginning, dog. But some of it I was like, okay, that's dope. But I wouldn't like no wholesale. I'm from project to project. This is I wouldn't put it in no list of top whatevers for me. And I recognize. Let me say this: I recognize the impact that he's had.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
As great, as one of the premier artists of our time. Clearly, no doubt. But I wouldn't put him on no list of like this album is one of the best of all the albums.
Nah, cause I don't see him as that kind of artist. I don't see him, he's not gonna go down in history as one of the greatest artists in the world.
What do you mean in terms of like artists like rappers?
Rappers, he's gonna go down as like one of the most innovative people of the 21st century type thing. Like that's gonna be his thing. It's not gonna be reduced to like any singular thing because I just feel like he's just tapped into too many different things that music just so happens to be one of them.
Okay.
And I feel like music is something that he uses. Like when I watched the Sunday service, I felt that was a man trying to use sound to heal himself.
I get that.
So, and in that way, I feel like a lot of his music of late is about him trying to find peace with him. And that's how that shit is showing up.
Okay.
So it's going to be pretentious to use your word because it's about him. He's trying to survive.
So you're saying that's a good point, dog. First, Sunday service has been dope. I thought that was what he did with that was crazy. So you're saying that it could be pretentious because he is pretentious, but he's struggling through whatever that means to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because even when you listen to what he was saying about Sunday service, there's reason why he had the colors. He was experimenting with color to control emotion.
Right.
He was experimenting with taking 808s and bass drums and shit out because he was trying to channel different types of chants and sounds and energy and stuff like that that had more healing properties.
Right.
And that like bass was submitting more to the lower self of humanity and all of that kind of stuff. So he was playing with these different colors and sounds to try to see if he could generate different type of vibrations.
Interesting.
And that's what a lot of Sunday service was about. And that's why you see a lot of the different reds and greens and blues and stuff that are in there, right?
Right.
And so, and he was just getting out of the hospital. So I was like, okay, this brother's on a healing path.
Right.
And I feel like some of this other stuff is really just an extension of that, which makes me respect. And that's why I said I don't think he's gonna. He wants to, I feel, create some shit that reflects who he is or where he's at.
Okay.
And he don't give a fuck about who like it. And as long as he likes it or he feels that it reflects what he's feeling to the best of its ability, and I think that's why he struggles sometimes with keeping with timelines and shit, because he's like, this don't feel right. This don't feel right. This don't feel right. And I get what it feels like to not feel aligned with something that you're doing.
Okay.
And so much so to where you actually don't even want to motherfucking put it out.
Okay.
But all this is conjecture, right? This is just average Joe offering insight, but it's the feelings and the vibes that I get. And maybe that's a reflection of me, just like everything else is a reflection of whoever else has an opinion about the shit.
That's I can accept that, dog. I can accept that. But again, and I can accept, and I try to go into every one of his projects, receiving it, trying to receive it the way it's trying to be delivered, and not try to add on, prior whatevers, right? But then, and then sometimes I'll be like, okay, I hear this. But then it goes right back into some other shit. I'm like, what? What just happened?
He's trying, dog. Like, and that's the part that I at least respect. It's like he's pushing. Like, he got all them people on there, dog, and ain't none of them motherfuckers cussing.
Interesting.
Like, in the fact that you could get them kind of names to do stuff, and maybe and like what that's going to look like in the future to bring people together to like talk about positive music or God or the Lord. Yeah. Like, I don't give a fuck what your God is or what you call him. I will listen to you and I will pull whatever out of that shit that makes sense to me.
Right.
Because there's gems every motherfucking way.
For sure.
So
for sure.
I'm going to get mine.
Right.
Whether I ain't going to let the fact that you saying Jesus keep me from that jewel.
Right.
I'm going to get that motherfucker.
Right.
And I ain't going to let the word Buddha, I ain't going to let the word Allah, I ain't gonna let Farrakhan, whoever.
How you gonna go from like Allah to
all the motherfuckers, anybody, any religious leader who sings, any person, dog. You can learn something from, man, you can learn a lot from a dummy, dog.
That's true. Shit, we sitting here every day.
That's bars. Every day.
We both dumb as shit, but you a little dumber than me. That's you, bro.
Yeah, that was Terrell.
Oh.
The price.
Yeah. Value.
It's hard to explain. And it's gonna be a bunch of people looking at this, not understanding. And I hope and I apologize if I'm projecting. It's just the majority of the conversations that I have with people around money.
Yeah.
is always about money.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if we beefing
Yeah.
about money,
Yeah.
I immediately know that it's not about money.
Yes.
Money is just a reflection of an underlying issue.
Yes.
So if you owe me $50,
Yeah.
let me rephrase that. If you owe me $1,000
$50.
and you don't pay me back, it's not the money that's going to keep me from interacting with you.
Right.
It's like how you are going about not addressing that. There's so many other things that have absolutely nothing to do with the money.
That have more value.
That have more value to me.
And dog,
Like, cause the money is just money.
it's just, that's right.
Like, are you dodging me, motherfucker?
Right.
Are you constantly not holding up your obligation? So let's say you ain't gonna pay me back for like 6 months.
Right.
Be a man about that shit and say what the fuck it is.
Right.
But don't tell me, don't keep putting me off and putting me off and putting me off and putting me off and putting me off, because at that point, it ain't about money. To
right.
me, that's not a money issue.
Nah.
That's a character thing.
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. It gets so like money, you're right, money becomes the focal point of everything, that you only see value in something that you can put a price tag on. Mm-hmm. And that's how you don't see the value at all. In nothing.
Yeah.
If the only way you can say something's value is that if you can put a price tag on it, what you feel like is quote unquote worth, then you don't know the value of shit, dog.
And what this go back to, you already know what I'm about to say.
What?
Tune the fork. Motherfuckers always want to ask, what's their question? How y'all gonna make money?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about we saving souls, motherfucker?
That's right. That's right. Dog, in the Bible.
That's our objective.
That's it. In the Bible.
It's to help people, bro. We ain't talking about no money.
That's right.
You know, like this shit costing us what we about to spend on cameras and all of this old fuck shit, just to like, we ain't even figuring out nothing. And people always want to ask us how we gon', man, we healing ourselves.
That's right.
And other motherfuckers.
That's
by
right.
being these people in front of these goddamn cameras.
That's right.
And most people want to ask us how we gonna make money.
That's the value. And that's it. That's it. Dog, in the Bible, it always makes me think of, I forgot who it was, but this motherfucker was.
That motherfucker was probably Leviticus.
Nah. It's
Leviticus.
Paul, one of them dudes. Sitting in jail, dog, writing letters to other people, telling them not to be sad and rejoice and all the great things that God has done. He's sitting in jail doing that, dog, helping other people. And jail back then ain't jail. He ain't sitting in the break room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That motherfucker ain't in pod A.
Right, exactly. He in the dungeon somewhere. And that's wild. So the value, dog, is way more than a price tag. And anybody who hears this, just pause for a second and think about that. Think about what value is if you couldn't put a price tag on it. You know what I'm saying? Can you put a price tag on the relationship you have with your friends or your people? Can you put a price tag on that? What's that value?
And the most valuable things in my life have no price tag.
Exactly.
I don't really give a fuck about nothing
Exactly.
that has a price tag.
That's right. That's it. That's it. That's it. I can't because all that money shit comes and goes, man. You get it, you don't have it, it comes and it goes, and you lose it, and you switch it, and you spend it, and all that goes around. What drives that is the value that you have in the relationships that you have and how you move in that space.
And that's the reason why these motherfuckers give the shit away.
That's right.
You pay $400 for a t-shirt. They giving them motherfuckers away to the Migos.
Yeah.
They giving it away.
That's right.
They giving it to them.
Yeah.
Like, you can have it.
Yeah.
It only has value to the motherfuckers
Yeah.
who see price tags. You know why? Because Migos don't see price tags when it comes to that shit.
Nah. Nah, they don't have to.
That shit could be $400 or $4.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing to them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to listen to it. What's the name of the motherfucker?
I'm gonna say it's called All the Love. That's what I'm gonna say it's called. But it's on the, it's like I said, it's the only joint that Jay-Z got on there. It's the only joint on Drake's album.
All right.
Check it out. Hold on, I might. Nah, I ain't got it. Oh well. Yeah, we'll put it on there. So you might try to get a snippet on there, at least get the line.
At least like 3 seconds.
I think that's all we got.
That's all we're gonna be able to get.
That's right.
You know, they don't play with Drake.
Don't fuck around.
Nigga, the artist of the decade. Well, we just did 2021, so they ain't saying much.
Drake been doing it, man. 30,
Yeah, but he
20 years?
man, I can't stand that motherfucker, dog. I got light skin hate.
Yeah, you do, dog. You always have
He dope, but I don't like his music.
Yeah, it is super, well,
Moist.
yeah, it is, dog. Every time and again, dog, it gets into the pretentious spaces because he talk all that feeling stuff, but then he flip around and be like, I'm a fuck her friends and put her back in public housing. You can't do both them things, dog.
He is, dog.
You can't be talking about love and, you know, forever and all that, and then talk about I'm gonna fuck you and your friends and send you back to public housing.
I don't even know a Drake song. Yeah. 100 to 100 real quick.
You gonna get a lot of Drake hate, dog.
Hey, man. Good.
Shout out to Drake and Kanye, man, for putting out some music into the universe, people to vibe off of.
Today Dunk Day, dog.
They Dunk Day.
Happy Dunk Day.
Happy Dunk Day, man.
Them were clean, bro.
Appreciate it. So was them.
Them the camo joints?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
them
was them? Them joints you had them joints for a minute, though, right?
Nah, I just got these. These are the undefeated 5 on it.
Oh,
Five,
yeah.
5 on it. I got the Air Force. You like Air Force Ones?
I kind of do, dog. I'm coming back around.
I got a pair, brand new. I won in the raffle. I was gonna sell them.
How you be winning shoes?
Dog,
man?
I be hidden. I'm gonna show you them Travis Lowe's.
Don't show them to me because I grab them joints and just run out.
Hold on, man. I thought you said anything with a price tag ain't worth shit.
See, that's how I changed.
See what I'm saying?
See how fast it switched?
That was good till he heard them Travis Lowe's was in the building.
Everything got a limit, dog. Everything got a limit. Shit, I might hit you in your head with one of these speakers or something and run out with that joint.
At least we got it documented.
Wake up like this.
Y'all know where to find him. He in Ashburn, y'all.
Yeah, come see me. All right,
Appreciate
man.
you, bro.
Yep.
All right.
All love, man.
Much love.
Peace.